Alright guys, so something a little bit different today. We're almost going to be doing like ASMR and STRV74 if you want to call it that. I'm just going to sit back, talk through this game on Overlord. This is my third more game. I wanted to show it to you guys, but nothing really exciting to go over. Just you're going to be seeing a bunch of shots, right? That's what the STRV does. It's basically a medium sniper, and this was the 3-mark game. We did like 3k damage, and just wanted you guys to see it. We did a session on the vehicle. It was a very mixed bag, I'll say. We had like 2 bad games and 2 pretty good games, and you guys should be seeing this video after that, but if for whatever reason I post this up as an extra like tomorrow, you will be seeing the STRV74 session. It's something a little bit different, but I just like this tank, guys. It's very accurate and very fun to play. And anyway, here we are in Overlord 6-7 game. And by the way, the setup I run on this thing was optics, bounty vents, and bounty improved aiming, or aim, whatever that thing is called. I think it's improved aiming. And this has helped the tank quite a bit. I think V-Stab was also another option, maybe, on this tank, but I didn't run the V-Stab. I preferred to run the improved aiming, and it worked well. And the improved vents gave me an extra bit of view range, and the optics also help with getting assist damage, right? So this is an interesting game, and something that I wanted to point out is the fact that we won the eastern side of this map in, what is it, 2 minutes? Not even 2 minutes, like a minute and a half. We had already won this portion of the map. And this is an issue with, I find, a lot of games that are late at night or on the weekend, right? Is you get this mismatch in the matchmaker, which happens all the time, but it's especially noticeable on the weekends or late at night. And for whatever reason, you just get these weird games. Sorry, I'll show you my camera view. I don't know why I haven't been showing you my camera view. But for whatever reason, I just find it to be much, much worse when it's late at night. And I found that recently in the Batchat 12T and also the T100LT. I've been playing the Batchat 12T quite a bit. And I started at like 15, maybe 1600 damage a game for like the first, I don't know how many games I played, maybe 15, 20 games. And I was averaging like 1500 damage. I can hardly do 1200 damage a game now with the way the matchmaking has been. It's ridiculous, man. I think we're averaging like 1250 or so. But it's not just that. Like, if you get Prokhorovka a few times, maybe we're not doing as much damage, right? But we're doing some spotting. But the games, it's just, I can't do any spotting either. The games have just been really rough, and I don't know if it's bad luck or it's just that I should stop playing at night, but this is what I find, man. I find that the games at night are just, like, horrendous, you know, compared to what I'm used to, I guess, in kind of like the afternoon or whatever, early afternoon before I go to work. Or late morning, whatever you want to call it, and like I just find the games to be way better. I don't really know how else to like explain it. It's just something weird about people that stay up late at night. Like, I think there's just such a separation of players that are really good and players that are really bad, right? You get the tryhards that are up late, and then you get players that are like maybe drunk from drinking that night or something like that, or they're just really tired and they're up late, or they just can't sleep, right? Maybe it's just like some older guys that can't sleep and they get on the game and they're just garbage at the game. I hate to say it, man, but like a lot of players that play World of Tanks are very casual players. It's not like Fortnite and Call of Duty where you have all these players that want to be really good at the game. World of Tanks is a much more casual game, and that's why I do enjoy it. But when you play as a light tank player, you still have to pay attention all the time, right? Whereas with tank destroyers, heavies, like, I feel like you can kind of slack off a little bit, right? Arties, like, it's just a very relaxing game to play if you're going to get into a tank destroyer or an artillery tank, especially. With heavies, you know, yeah, you do have to angle and you have to aim at weak spots. But occasionally I will get in tank destroyers or something like the STRV74, and it's more relaxing gameplay. So I guess a lot of people enjoy that. You got a lot of older guys that play the game. Maybe they aren't quite as quick with their hands and all that stuff, and they just prefer to play a more relaxing game than to get on Call of Duty with all the 18-year-olds or, you know, 12-year-olds, or a mixture of the two, right? And yeah, that's what it ends up being, man. It just ends up being like this, I don't know, huge separation of try-hard players, maybe slightly younger guys, and older people that aren't quite as good. perhaps that's the case. I mean, there are older people that play this game that are good at the game as well, but it's just something that I don't know that I get. Maybe I'm assuming a little bit, but it's just my guess, right? It's just something that I think is what's happening, and it sucks, man. So I would encourage you guys to play. If you really want to get good games, play in the morning or the afternoon, and don't play on the weekends either. That's why Steel Guts, like on his stream, when he would stream Saturday and Sunday, he would tell you guys playing the weekend so you don't have to. That was like his caption almost, because the weekend games were just so bad. And again, it's a mismatch of a lot of bad players and a lot of good players, and Wargaming doesn't have any kind of skill-based matchmaking, so what you end up with is slaughters most of the time, and they drive me insane because when you're a light tank player, you can adjust to it, right, because you have mobility, but the thing is, at higher tiers, if one side of the map is completely losing, like for instance the heavy side of the map where all the heavies go, you can't reliably pen heavy tanks. Look at this, man. I almost like fell off the cliff and like rolled. But you can't reliably pen heavy tanks at higher tiers. At lower tiers, this is why I have a 66% win rate in the Covenanter, right? Because I can pretty much pen everything I face, at least in the lower plate. And again, players aren't as good. But I think that's a big reason why that I haven't spoke of. Is that with the Covenanter, like, you have so much burst damage, but at tier 5, like, tanks don't really have armor, man. You have a couple of them, like maybe Excelsior and stuff like that. The Panzer 5-4, I think, has decent armor. Like, there's some tanks that have armor. But, like, I can even pen a T1 Heavy with the crap Covenanter gun, right? I can do it, right? Like, I can reliably pen the front of the tank if it's flat, as long as I'm close enough and I aim for like the lower plate and stuff. On some of these other tanks, man, like once you get up to higher tiers, this VK was such a try-hard player, man. I could just tell, like, I thought he was going to ram me, and then he ran around, and then he was like, you know, doing handbrake slides against the other player before, and I'm like, all right, man, whatever. Like, freaking tier 6 game, tier 6-7 game, like, he's going all out. But I ended up doing 3k damage, so I was pretty happy with that, and we got the 3 mark. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this with you guys, and again, at these higher tiers, man, you have tanks like the BZ-176. Oh my gosh, man. I guess I couldn't decide who to watch. You have the BZ-176, right? I don't know what I'm trying to do here, man. Maybe I was trying to get the Super Hellcat. I have this thing where I just keep clicking rather than trying to, like, click on the actual player. So the Panther, I guess, tries to go in for a ram there. But yeah, what you have, guys, is tanks like BZ-176. You have, like, the Super Heavies that start at, like, tier 8. You just have tanks like 122 TM is one of the mediums. Like, I can never penetrate these things reliably. They have very trollish armor, and at these lower tiers, you just don't have that. So that's why I find that it's easier to adjust as a light tank player at the lower tiers, because at least there's a lot of tanks that you can reliably pen and make a difference. But if you're losing an entire side of the map at higher tiers, like for instance, let's just use the T100 LT as an example, you have tanks coming in that from a distance, man, like with the reliability of the T100 LT gun with a spotting setup with like 0.4 dispersion, good luck making any kind of difference, man. With these super heavies coming in where you have to hit just the lower plate, right? SMVs now are another example. Like, you have to hit the lower plate. There's no weak spots up top, you know? There's just not. And that's just the reality of the game, man. You just have a lot of these tanks that once you get to like tier 8, you just can't really make much of a difference on one side of the map when tanks are pushing in frontally. Whereas at lower tiers, I feel like you can make much more of a difference because you have tanks that you can pen reliably in the front because they don't have as much armor. Like the VK mediums, even the VK heavies or whatever, at these lower tiers, the American heavies, they have decent armor if you can kind of get like that angle, but if they're coming straight at you, you can still pen them, right? Like even in the top of the tank, near the turret and stuff. But at these higher tiers, good luck, man. Like I said, good luck. So I think that's really the big difference. And when you have this big mismatch, it's just, you have to be a Unicom player to like really hold a high win rate and enjoy yourself at those higher tiers, because I see some players that are the Unicom players that struggle just to keep like 58, 59, 60% win rates in lights. Where for me, like, I usually hold like maybe 53, 54% win rate at those higher tiers. It's weird, man, because the tanks I like the most tend to have the lowest win rates. LT 432 and Hawk 30. I have like a 53% win rate in those. But for some reason in the LTTB, the tank that I played years ago and finally decided to mark, like, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago or something, a long time ago, I decided to mark it. I have like a 57% win rate in that tank. So I don't know how that checks out, but it does, guys. The even 90 I've played the most of, I have about a 57% win rate in that one. And the T54 lightweight, I have a pretty good win rate in that one. But the T100 LT, like, arguably, I used to hate that tank. Now one of my favorite tanks to play, the T100 LT, because of its mobility and gun. Even though the gun is not reliable, I like the way it sounds, and hitting for 300 a shot is fun and all. And just the tank, the fact that the tank is so low to the ground, it's just a fun tank to play, man. And I have like a 52% win rate in it. And I feel like I perform very, very well in it. Same thing with the Hawk 30. Like, I don't know how I have a 53% win rate in that tank, because I average over 1,300 damage a game, and my spotting is good too, because the view range on that tank is very, very good. So I can go on and on about these things, guys, but I figured I would just talk about something while we kind of watched this game. I know it wasn't anything super exciting, but I figured I would show it to you. We'll go to the end plates, and I'll let you guys go. Here's the final, I guess, main, what's it called? Personal score. I don't think I opened the others. Let me see. Go to my desktop here. We'll just close this. Yeah, and that's it, guys. So here's the team score. Panther played a pretty good game. This guy, the captain, he has like a 10,000 WTR. He's a really good player, man, but he was just, I feel like this guy was going like extremely try hard there. It was pretty fun to watch, actually. He did 4,100 damage, and this is the case. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Like 4,100 damage, it's still not enough to carry a team that is just casual, right? So yeah, that's what you'll run into. And I just don't know what else to say, guys. Like, I truly believe that you can only make so much of a difference in a light tank at higher tiers, and I feel like I should just start playing like mediums or something if I really, because you know what I was recently playing was the TS54, I think it is. It's that double, it's the double gun. It's an American heavy double gun that I think you got from Watt Plus. And I've played like 10 games in that tank or something like that. I have like a 70 or 80% win rate in it, right? Because I just feel like I can make such a big difference. Even though I'm not a great heavy player, it's like I can win one side of the map. And when you win one side of the map, I feel like it makes a really, really big difference. So, I don't know, it's just my take on it, guys. Anyway, here's the detail report. I'll let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed. Catch you for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.